What's this like here? TNA is having their debut episode on AMC tonight. I might actually go head to head with that one to say the least. You and I probably am. Right now it's 7:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Syracuse, New York, obviously. But anyways, welcome to an episode of Lucas E. Allen Productions on YouTube and a Lucas E. Allen Show on Spotify, which are LimitsCenter, January 15th, 2026. My goodness, man. TNA is now no longer on Access TV, is now on AMC. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, if you're nice for a content standpoint, because I'm going to be doing probably some reels, YouTube shorts on this channel, YouTube shorts, and also Instagram reels and TikTok videos on that, to say the least. I'm at least for the debut episode for tonight, honestly. It's gonna be probably not even. It's not gonna be obviously up the next day or anything like you normally do, because I'm always got reels on the keeping schedule standpoint. It's not a lot of time on my hands. You know why? Obviously, you watch the podcast before you get the point. But anyways, we're gonna start hopefully with stuff like this. And by the way, hit the like button on today's YouTube upload or podcast. Hit the subscribe button if you've done so already. Turn the bell. You have post notifications so you don't miss an upload on YouTube. And always leave a comment about LimitsCenter podcast for your Thursday, January 15th of 2026. Watch on Spotify. Also leave a comment about my episode for today. And also a 5-star rating would be very nice as well. Realize I didn't promote my social media, so I gotta be out of this, man. There's gonna be a sit down towards the end of the podcast. Actually, the last segment of the podcast. So stay tuned for that, to say. It's a little bit like a mini sit down, to say. It's been a long time since I've done those, to say the least. Before we be discussing WWE from wrestling news, so I have 5 pieces of wrestling news, including a big one, Powerhouse Hobbs. I know, are completely interesting. WWE discussed changing the start time for Saturday night's main event. We discussed first kicking off of that. We'll also be discussing AJ Lee, the lovely AJ Lee is on hiatus right now, because this statement right here. She issues a statement about her passing of her and CM Punk's, her husband's obviously dog Larry. Just a very sad story here about Larry. I don't think I even discussed it, honestly, until now. Very sad, if you ask me. Thoughts and prayers are definitely about Punk, to Phil Brooks and April Mendez, AJ Lee, and CM Punk. As that's just, you can tell, when you read the report today, AJ Lee is absolutely crushed, man. She is crushed, and not doing, she wants to say she's not, doing well health-wise. I mean, maybe mental health, maybe. I'm not the one to say that. It'd be AJ to say that herself. We're going to be discussing that, though. Wish her the best, obviously, here in Punk as well. CM Punk. Moving on to discussing R-Truth. Offers details on WWE contract he signed following his 2025 departure. He also returned, the following week before he left the company. Obviously outraged from the fans online, which is obviously rightfully so. Be discussing that. Also some Powerhouse Hobbs, AW's trio. He's one half of the trio's champions, only 1/3 of the trio's champions. Likely heading to the WWE. We'll be discussing that. Let's go to my final segment before we get into your sit down. Queen Aminata. I keep saying her fucking name wrong, man. Queen Aminata offers update on her AEW contract status. And also a sit down. We finish off today's podcast, including a special birthday shout out to a good Bianca Belair fan I actually like quite a bit. It's been I want to say been with me, like he's not been with me or anything, but been a good friend for me on Instagram and Twitter, to say at least. We'll also be discussing the socials a little bit later on after that, to say at least. We're discussing all on today's podcast. Glad you're joining. Maybe you always gonna say it's your Saturday. Oh my god, man. Your Thursday, January 15, 2026, your LimitsCenter podcast, to say. It's on today's podcast, ladies and gentlemen. But starting with, you guessed it, WWE discussed changing the start time for Saturday night's main event, belief for the 24th of January this month, obviously. WWE officials reportedly held discussions regarding a potential change to the start time for the upcoming Saturday night's main event in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. According to a report from WrestleVotes Radio and Fightful Select, the company considered altering the schedule for a January 24th show. The event is set to take place at the Ball Centre and will air on NBC and Peacock. I didn't know it'll be airing on NBC until, honestly, this report, honestly. I know they're done with that stuff, to say at least. But then again, it's not like an important Saturday. This kind of is important, It's a week before the Royal Rumble. You get to determine Drew McIntyre's opponent for the Royal Rumble and for the Undisputed WWE Championship. We'll discuss that briefly then, though. Discussions center on moving to a program an hour to avoid a direct conflict in major UFC broadcast. WrestleVotes radio reports that the proposed time change was driven by the debut of the UFC on Paramount Plus, which is scheduled to start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the same night. The mixed martial arts promotions been premiering on the Paramount Plus platform, like I just mentioned, which is utilizing earlier start times for its major events. The potential move was described as an effort to maximize viewership for both brands under TKO Group Holdings banner. The TKO representative reportedly told Sean Rossap of Fightful that the coordination was a matter of corporate snadery. I think that's how you said it, honestly. TKO, the parent of the company about WWE and UFC, was previously adjusted schedules to prevent audience cannibalization between its two comeback giants, to say at least. One interesting thing, they don't know why you put it there, but whatever. I don't like that, but just might potentially start time. I don't know what the little bit of Ben. Even though like Saturday night's main event is basically like a prop at this, right? Like I guess it's going a week before the Royal Rumble. Isn't that kind of ridiculous? In order to determine Drew McIntyre's opponent for the Undisputed WWE Championship and the Royal Rumble, obviously. Probably the main event of that show. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't care. I really don't care. We're going to start at 6 p.m. Because the UFC stuff, we're about 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Then in that case, I'll take that. But it's like earlier than 7 p.m. Why are you calling that Saturday night's main event? They might as well call it Saturday evening event, honestly. Saturday evening event, and get that honestly to say. Like Saturday evening main event. I don't know, man. I don't know if I like that. We'll really find out what that to say. It'll still probably 8 to 10 p.m. probably, since it is on NBC. I didn't know that until honestly today. I thought they were honestly done with NBC and Saturday night's main event, but then again, probably will watch this report be lying to me. We'll ain't find out that though to say. So that's my thoughts in this segment this year for sure. Moving on to very sad news here. Well, not that it's been a while since this dog has passed away. But AJ Lee, one of my favorites in all women's wrestling history. What used to be my favorite of all time before you know who came along to say, at least Mercedes Moné, obviously, my girl Mercedes. But it was always before Mercedes, there was an AJ Lee. It was because AJ Lee right now issued a statement about passing of her and CM Punk's dog, Larry. That just sucked. When I saw that it first came out, Punk's statement on Instagram, I honestly ain't gonna lie, I shed a couple of tears. I don't like dog animals, like animals are dogs, cats, you name it. I'm personally more of a cat guy. I'm more cats. I've never had a dog in my life, but still, I'm a big animal guy, honestly. AJ Lee issued an emotional statement yesterday regarding the passing, I think it was actually on Tuesday, of her and CM Punk's beloved dog Larry. While the World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk originally announced the news on December 2025, AJ broke her silence on Instagram on January 13th, sharing a heartfelt tribute to the famous rescue dog. I didn't know he was a rescue dog, honestly. I didn't know until today. In her post, AJ thanked fans for their donations to an animal rescue organization, Paws Chicago, in Larry's memory. She detailed Larry's difficult beginnings. AJ highlighted the profound impact Larry had on her mental health, crediting him for helping her through depressive cycles and becoming her emotional support, which that definitely happens to me and my mom a lot, honestly, with cats and stuff. She also celebrated his rise to fame, pointing out that he went from discarded underdog, interesting to say at least, to having his face on merchandise, action figures, and billboards at the LimitsCenter. Check out her statement below here to say at least. Thank you for all who donated to animal rescue at Paws Chicago. I think it's on Instagram in Larry's memory. Over a decade ago, our Larry Talbot was surrendered there for doing the most Multiple fosters gave up on him. One stated on record, "I cannot allow this chaos on my home any longer." A professional trainer called him a lost cause. He survived abuse and abandonment, and he was just misunderstood. We knew he was perfect for us. He snuggled in our terms like a prickly cat. Interesting to say the least. Prickly cat. He stole entire pizzas and donuts off countertops and swallowed them whole like a snake. Yeah, that's interesting, man. My cats love to do that too, to say the least. Very, very interesting. Maybe not like pizza or donuts, more like smell like raw chicken. I know, kind of disgusting. That's cats for you. And definitely for sushi too, like shrimp and stuff. I know. Let's just move on to the rest of this topic, shall we? One time, a little Abla saw him on the street, clutched on her chest, and yelled, "El Chumpacabra Cobra." I don't know what this meant, honestly. He helped get me out of the deepest depressive cycles and was the center of my happiest days. He went on discarded underdog to have his face plastered across billboards in LimitsCenter, obviously. ASPCA campaigns, Rolling Stone, and had more action figures, so I just read all that shit. Why am I fucking reading all this shit? It is just me, to say the least. It's a greatest honor to become his emotional support. He went to mine. I just know he's now with my other furry angels, Mugsy and Nacho. Nacho, interesting, man. Causing absolute fucking mayhem. You know, my cats already in like the what they call it where animals go, the Rainbow Bridge, I think. I guess I call it the Rainbow Bridge. So my cats are probably all doing that too. All my cats have passed away and stuff like that. They're probably tearing shit off the counters and stuff. Other people, you name it. I am not okay. Half my heart is gone. Really quiet and private during the hard stuff, and I wanted to come on here and say, if you need a best friend, you will make every day brighter. You will save your life right back. Please adopt, don't shop. Rescue dogs are a special kind of magic. End quote to finish that off. That's just AJ's message was beautiful here. AJ's message was fucking beautiful. Not that I knew Larry personally. Obviously, I've never seen him, man. I heard the stories about him and CM Punk at all brawl out, or to say at least. But that's different. That's not needed right now. I definitely wish April Mendez, AJ, absolutely nothing but the best. You can get into that last paragraph I read just now. Her heart is gone. Basically, what she said there. So I wish that woman all the best. That's gonna suck. Definitely sucks losing your best friend like your dog or cat. Any animal in general, they're better than fucking human beings. Let's just all be real and honest with you people. Human beings I'm not saying like AJ or anything, but bad like human beings don't deserve to have like animals in their lives. I'm not saying that's AJ or CM Punk. They're obviously great people, obviously. What I'm saying like is basically animal beings are better than human beings. Some human beings just can be the fucking cruelest things to fucking animals, nonetheless. You see the stories about animal abuse and stuff like that. Like, it's sick. It's sick. I'm not saying AJ or Punk ever did. I never say that whatsoever. They love their dog Larry to death. I've heard the stories about that. There's other human beings in this world that be sick, demented fucks. But I definitely wish AJ Lee all the best. That's gotta suck, man. It looks like she's going through a rough time. That's probably she's not on WWE television right now. You gotta let that woman breathe and grieve and something like that. Like give the woman her deepest condolences. Her and CM Punk, nonetheless, too. So definitely wish her and Punk all the best to say, especially AJ Lee to say at least. Moving on to R-Truth offers details on WWE contract he signed following his 2025 departure from the company with that basically midsummer outrage on social media, which is obviously justified. Last year, R-Truth was shockingly released from the WWE, leading to fast fan backlash across social media. Gee, you don't say. I bet a little baby can predict that, honestly. Slight exaggeration, but still. Not too long after, however, Truth returns to the WWE, obviously at Money in the Bank. cutting his I'm driving now promo and shaving his head on television, which is the peak of that. That segment was just freaking great. But what the lead after that? Absolutely nothing. But the good old version of R-Truth comedy geek there. Much we love Ron Killings and R-Truth, that he is a very funny man, obviously. When you do that type of angle, you better go full throttle. Did the Triple H go full throttle with it? Absolutely not. Following this, Truth signed a new contract with WWE, which he opened up about during an interview with TV Insider. I signed a 4-year deal with a 3-year option. He revealed that's one of the things that he thinks with the wrestling business, you're going to have people that speculate and institute and throw things out there, but don't know the behind the scenes story and truth of it. Truth then commented about WWE Unreal, knowing that much like with the show, people might think they know the entire story, but they won't ever know the exact truth. Me and Nick Khan, obviously, says, and Cole myself had talks. I also had talks to Hunter, Paul of Triple H Levesque, obviously, Truth added. Everything lets me being back at Money in the Bank, end quote. Truth, dude. I like you, bro. I really do. I really like you, Truth. You're a funny as hell human being. You're great at what you do when you're taken seriously. But all due respect, man, that's bullshit. If they would have released you, they would have released you without no problem. Wasn't for the fan backlash. They probably wouldn't have fucking cared. They wouldn't have cared if there was not for the fan backlash. They probably still don't care. Even with the fan backlash, they just knew they'd made a fucked up decision, and then that they had to bring it back. That's just the truth. No pun intended, there are truth, obviously. Truth further described his return of Money in the Bank being a show of power, humanity, as well as reading this room and listening and approach fans, to say the least. There are so many things that come out of that moment and led from the phone call with Nick. Truth said, it was also like a dream to me. It was surreal. I'm going through it, and to where I am at right now. Which is what, Truth? Which is what? You're back to the same way before you were released. With this comedy stuff with The Miz and Joe Hendry and stuff like that. Is it like, I mean, didn't have a match with Gunther, basically at least sellable. Like the sub of the old Archer we saw in last year in 2025. But still, he's right back to square one like he was before he got released last year. That's not great. That is not great whatsoever. So I didn't find that WWE could make a complete 180 with R-Truth, but how he doubt that's the case, honestly, with WWE and Triple H, obviously. But keep updating this going forward if you ask me. Moving on, 2 AEW news to say, so one AEW news that go in times at WWE as well. AEW's Powerhouse Hobbs likely headed into the WWE. Obviously, one half of the Trios champions, well, 1/3, of Trios champions. It seems that Powerhouse Hobbs' time with AEW is coming to an end, as she looks to be making a jump to WWE in the near future. Sean Ross Sepp of Fightful Select has reported that Hobbs' contract with AEW expires at midnight on January 14th, which was, I believe, yesterday. Yeah, today's the 15th of January, obviously, duh. And he finished up with the company at the conclusion of the Maximum Carnage edition of AEW Collision, which was taped last night as well. Now, if this man is going to, obviously he's going to WWE, he best but better start in NXT. The man has, he's very good at what he does, Powerhouse Hobbs. And knowing that the Ops and Samoa Joe and can Hook and Katsuri Shibata and those guys. Which also, I'm yet to watch Dynamite from last night. But I just wonder what happened with the Trios titles. Maybe it happened on a Collision. They vacated the Trios titles. Maybe they lost them in a match or something. We didn't find out that. But I'm honestly yet to watch Dynamite and obviously Collision. Collision doesn't take place until the 17th, I believe, this week. Maybe I don't think it's on Thursday because TNA starts in a couple of days. Well, actually, it starts right now. It's 8:02 right now. There you go. There you go. In all honesty, the Powerhouse Hobbs going to start in WWE. He needs to start in NXT. Especially for his sake and my brand's sake, honestly. So what do they have for, like, champions, like, good enough competitors in NXT? They're calling up all these people left and right from the main roster of NXT, like Javon Evans, Trick Williams. I didn't understand Trick Williams and Obafemi. But why Javon Evans? The dude can at least make his sniff 1 ounce of singles gold in NXT? You know, let this man sniff a single toe minutes the NXT Championship you see out like in the Stand Deliver match last year with him, Oba, and Trick Williams. But still, like, he can hold at least the North American Championship at bare minimum before he gets called up to the main roster. That's just bizarre if you ask me. Let me say. They can be a bigger star in the main roster with a title around, like it's around his. He can probably be up there with the North American title on his waist, even the NXT Championship. And then he can, like, drop it after. I mean, as long as he wins it, you don't, like, hold the title for long. You can, like, drop it probably the next day on the next show of NXT. That'll have been fine. As long as you got at least singles goal on his freaking belt, at least in NXT, the dude is great. Whatever, bro. As for this segment, Powerhouse Hobbs, he should definitely start in NXT. And plus, he can work on, like, a character, and promo ability more at NXT. That's a developmental brand for you, and that fit Powerhouse Hobbs like a glove. He can make the replacement from, like, Obafemi, the dominant big guy in NXT. There you go. And probably even as a heel. You would think, probably, right? I don't know. I'll wait fine with that. But he needs to start in NXT. If he gets called, he's already on the main roster. That is a big mistake from Triple H. A huge, huge, huge mistake. At least let the man breathe for at least like 6 months in NXT. I know this guy's Triple H is gonna look at him like, oh, this is my new version, younger version of Bobby Lashley. Like, dude, at least let the man breathe in NXT. There's times and places for that. Stop rushing so many young talent on the main roster. Granted, half of them are probably needed on SmackDown at least. But Trick was more than ready, obviously. Same with Oba. Oba's probably starting Raw. I don't know why he's being on Raw, honestly. I've been starting SmackDown. And you got women like Jordan Grace is called up. I get that. But those people are already ready. Javon Evans can at least breathe in NXT for a little bit longer. Then you can have, like, oh no, you have his probably ender for the NXT Championship right here in Powerhouse Hobbs. But no, he didn't do that. We ain't fine with that whenever Powerhouse Hobbs debuts on WWE television. But an absolute 1,000% should be on NXT. Not the main roster of Raw or SmackDown yet. He's going to be on there probably in the next 6 months when he starts in NXT. But still, you have that man at minimum starting NXT. You don't work him all the way up to the main roster day one he debuts. That'll be a freaking mistake if you ask me. But I don't understand what the freaking outrage is here. But people are saying, oh, he's gonna be basically like a, what's the word I'm thinking of? But stuff like between the WWE fan base that the AEW dropped the ball of Powerhouse Hobbs, which they definitely kind of did. But still, you not like he was like a major botch, like a Wardlow botch. It really wasn't a Wardlow botch. I mean, he wasn't booked perfectly. I'll give you that, obviously. But then the WWE fan base is going to be acting like he's going to get much better booking in WWE. Maybe in NXT I'll give you, if he starts in NXT. But what happens after that to the main roster? That's where I'm wondering what these freaking WWE freakos will understand that. But when you found out that those days, and then you got the AEW sickos on your side being like, look, he's such a damn traitor. You can't win with these people. They're both stupid. The WWE fan base and the AEW fan base. You just can't win with them. But it is what it is to say. I wish Powerhouse Hobbs nothing but the best in WWE. Hope he starts in NXT to say at least. And finally, if you're new here, before you get your sit down to end the podcast today, Queen Aminata offers update on her AEW contract status. While Queen Aminata may not have won any championships in AEW during 2025, she was still arguably one of the breakout stars in the women's division. I would say so too, honestly. Have a notable feud with the debut on Tekla and press many, including AEW owner Tony Khan. Unfortunately, a neck injury towards the end of the year prevented Aminata from participating in the first ever women's blood and guts match from wrestling in the semifinals of the Ring of Honor Women's Pure Championship Tournament. Slimini, or stimulating, I guess you can fucking say it honestly, or stimulating her momentum, excuse me. If anything else though, Aminata will have plenty of time to regain and set momentum when she returns on the latest episode of her YouTube vlog. Aminata documented her return to Genoa, West Africa, I believe is where she's from, honestly. Both to visit family members to close certain business deals. Towards the end of the vlog, she also dropped some important contract news regarding her status in AEW. On top of all the great news and great feelings, AEW also extended my beautiful, juicy contract until February 2027. That's one way to put it. Beautiful, juicy contract. Might be even, that's good too, honestly. I'm a queen, I'll be honest. Aminata said, "Bro, what can I say at this point? I'm happy. Even though my neck is messed up right now and I can't wrestle, I am very motivated. I can't wait to go back." End quote. Which is definitely a great mentality he has, but especially with a neck injury like that. I don't think it's like devastating, or she's probably be back, obviously. I definitely wish her all the best, to say the least. And you can tell she's a passionate woman in wrestling. I mean, I was not familiar before her working in AEW this year. But definitely, she definitely impressed me a little bit, honestly, in AEW. Did she have like the time enough to develop like a storyline that would even break her out even more so? No, this is Tony Khan for you. I definitely wish her all the best with this neck injury. She hope to see her back in AEW Sally, especially the TBS Championship of my girl Mercedes Moné. You can probably get a championship in the TBS on her eventually when she comes back to AEW. Maybe like when, so I think the one Thekla is going to beat Willow Nightingale for a TBS Championship eventually. They can probably work around Queen Aminata versus Thekla for a TBS Championship eventually, and Queen Aminata comes back to the company. We ain't found that though, Sally's, when she comes back to AEW Sally's. Wish her all the best in this neck injury to Sally's. And finally, everybody, with your LimitsCenter, January 15th, 2026. Your Thursday, January 16th, 15th to 2026, your LimitsCenter. A little bit of a sit down to discuss things here, to say the least. Before I get into anything though, I just want to give a special birthday shout out to somebody. Somebody you probably never seen on like you could see out on like social medias at all. A very good Bianca Belair fan. A very die-hard Bianca Belair fan. I think his birthday is honestly, I think he lives in France, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I think I'm pretty sure he's from France. So he's a little bit ahead of my area. So I think his birthday is technically right now, honestly. I'd like to give a special birthday shout out to Enzo Jansen. I'm sorry, dude, if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong, or your last name outside of Enzo. The dude Enzo Jensen's on Twitter, his Instagram, and TikTok. His Twitter X account, or just call it Twitter, honestly, because I feel like to, is at Enzo Jansen's 2 on Twitter /X, or just call it Twitter, so I feel like to, obviously. Instagram account at Enzo.Jensens, and that's his Instagram account, and TikTok account is Enzo Jensens _, obviously, for me. At least I looked up his TikTok account. Also, so very happy birthday to Enzo, to say the least. He's a very die-hard Bianca Belair fan, from what I've seen of him, obviously. So it's glorious EST Bianca Belair. I hope you can see not just his birthday post on Instagram. I hope you can see basically my podcast. That'd be great too, obviously too. But not even just my sake, but my sake too, and his sake. Wish that man a happy birthday. Or that boy happy birthday. I think she honestly follows him on Instagram. At least I believe, honestly. I'm not totally sure about that at all. But happy birthday to him, to say the least. Also, speaking of social media, to say the least, I wanted to wanted to say this for a long time. Remember, a long time ago, I basically said I did a couple of burner accounts on Twitter and even on Instagram. Or not really burner accounts. I was kind of lying, not gonna lie about that. They're real accounts, not like these profiles, like no profile picture, and just 2 followers, and you just your generosity. and like follow like I don't know the president of the United States or Elon Musk, one of those guys or whatever. I can't stand those types of people. I got one today, honestly, all because I praised Jay Cargill. Honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. I know. I want to say this for a couple of reasons, honestly. I've been keeping this in my chest, honestly. It's how my YouTube stuff has been kind of growing, honestly, because my social medias on Sadie's X Cyrus on Twitter and Instagram. Yes, I know. I compare my two favorite people in the whole world, or females. Mercedes Monet, my girl Mercedes Monet, and Miley Cyrus. So that's a Sadie's X Cyrus on Twitter and Instagram. I'm thinking about making a TikTok for that too. And also Wrestling Limits. You got Twitter and Instagram too. And also, you still have Lucas C. Allen on Instagram and TikTok as well. I'm probably get rid of the Twitter account because right now it's not growing whatsoever. But he answers Sadie's X Cyrus and Limits, Wrestling Limits. I've not been on Wrestling Limits Twitter account as of yet. I had it, honestly. I just got a new phone recently, so I'm yet to even log into that account. I also returned to my business stuff with that quite recently, to say at least. But go follow my social medias, Sadie's X Cyrus on Twitter and Instagram. We'll make a TikTok sooner around later. Same thing, Wrestling Limits on Twitter and Instagram. I'm thinking about making a TikTok on that too. And obviously, the main socials, Lucas E. Allen on Instagram and TikTok, to say at least. So that is your little bit of a sit down, kind of a small sit down, but then I've been doing these in the last couple of months or so, to say at least. So I thought I'd be doing this hopefully sometimes. Not like every Limit Center, but I mean like every other Limit Center, maybe do more sit downs, to say at least. So that is your Lucas Limit. She is your Limit Center. January, remember, you heard a big bang in my freaking apartment. I'm sorry if you heard that. That is your Limit Center podcast for Thursday, January 15th of 2026. Thank y'all for watching Limit Center on YouTube and all audio platforms. Lucas E. Allen Show on YouTube, obviously, Lucas E. Allen 1018. Which is Limit Center podcast for Thursday, January 15th, 2026. And I hope to see you all later on. I'm probably going to do hopefully one more upload, knock on wood. I know, obviously, it's 8:30. I'm going to do another podcast. Lucas, you going to do a podcast? No, not another podcast, per se. My second YouTube channel, Lucas C. Allen. I think I'm going to do my NXT New Year's Evil match star ratings, to say at least. So stay tuned for that, to say. So you only can get that on YouTube. You can't get on Spotify, because I don't feel like uploading on Spotify. I'm sorry to tell you that, people. Well, until next time, trust me next time, everybody. Peace, love, bright. I am out. Take care. Love y'all big time, to say the least.